Hey there, I'm Dayna Johnson, dental practice management expert, certified Dentrix trainer, and founder of Novonee, revolutionizing the dental industry through innovation and strategic leadership. It wasn't long ago that I lived in your shoes, navigating the daily challenges of managing a dental practice with the hopes and dreams of having a productive schedule, money in the bank, and getting home on time to my sweet daughter. After 25 years working in the dental practice and 17 years as a certified Dentrix trainer, I found my life's work, helping dental teams one-on-one, optimizing their systems and software. If you are looking to create the thriving dental practice you have always dreamed of and empower your high-performing dental team, you are in the right place. Let's get started. Welcome, my friends, to the High Performing Dental Team. I'm Dayna Johnson, your host, and we are live from the Rocky Mountain Dental Conference. We are inside the exhibit floor, so you might hear some background noise, so don't worry about all that. We are doing some podcasting at the Podcast Pavilion live from the Rocky Mountain, and I have a special guest on my podcast today. You all know that I geek out over technology, and my career started out in technology, so I love having guests on that are going to talk about technology. And I have Dan Easty with Sunset Technologies on with us today, and he's actually going to dive in more into the security side of technology, because we always have to be careful when we implement new technology. So welcome, Dan.
Hey, thank you, Dayna. So excited to be here, be at the Rocky Mountain Dental Conference. Super excited to be on your podcast.
Thank you so much. It's an honor to have you on. Now, many of you may know the name Dan Easty he used to work for Patterson. You worked for Patterson for how long?
18 years.
18 years. So
in a minute.
Yeah, I know. We've known each other for many years. I always would see you at the ADOM conferences.
Yep, ADOM, ADMC, SCN, and then, just traveling the road, doing the circuit, and road warrior.
Road warrior, that's what we do. Yeah, and so Dan has done a new career move over into technology. Well, he's still in technology. He was with technology with Patterson.
Yeah, on the software side of things, for 18 years, and helped transform hundreds of dental practices from paper into a digital experience through the front door, and from front to back, and all the way around, and so innovation has always been a driver for me.
Yeah, absolutely.
The advancement of technology, I mean, it's some exciting times.
Technology is always exciting. There's always something changing, always something new, and it's like, I want to start there. There's always something new, and we're going to dive into AI a little bit, because that's like the new buzzword, I think. Even though AI has been around for, since the 50s. I mean, AI has been around for a very long time. Many of you may not have known that. But, and we've seen AI in dental imaging for many years.
Yeah.
Insurance companies have been using AI for claim adjudication for many years. But we're just now starting to see AI emerge in dental administration when it comes to checking on insurance eligibility, and my good friends over at Stratus Insurance Verification, they are using AI bots for checking on insurance eligibility, and then we're also seeing some companies come on board that are taking the phone calls even from your patients. So I want Dan to dive into, talk more about the precautionary measures that we should be taking before we bring on an AI bot to, as an additional team member into our practice. So let's dive into that.
Yes. I think I always start with, what's the end goal and what's the purpose of why you're looking into this, right? Is it to help maximize uptime? Is it to streamline and really get some good performance or around security? But there are some real fascinating advancements in AI, but it's something that as a student and a learner of AI on my end, and I'll fully admit that I am a student. There are much more smarter people that I'm learning from, but I'm always excited and I'm always looking for ways to say, how can we improve? However, more on the security side, making sure that we're asking questions. We're doing our research of these companies, and with the movement of AI, with the announcement of the AI infrastructure, that's really going to make an impact in the healthcare here in the U.S. It's just, for me, it's great. However, my concern is we want to make sure we do our due diligence and make sure that we're not having our cousins, nephews, former roommates, create some algorithms through ChatGPT and then say, hey, I can run your practice more smoothly and awesome. And you're like, great, here's all my PHI, here's all my information. And then next thing you know, you're trying to solve a problem. And I get that, right? We're trying to make things better. However, you could inadvertently open some doors that could affect you and could get you in some compliant issues. So that's really my goal is really bring awareness, open that conversation, and I'm excited to see that there's others having panels. We had an AI panel here yesterday. Having the conversation. I know there's others, in Utah, down in Florida, that they're having conversations on that. So I think the more we have those discussions, the more we're learning, and the more we're asking questions, I think the better our dental practices are going to be.
I agree with you 100%, because we know that our dental practices are short-staffed and we are looking for help. And, so a lot of us will just look for, okay, how can I streamline my workflow? Oh, well, I'll ask ChatGPT how to streamline my workflow, and this is what my day looks like, and so we could, like you said, inadvertently be putting our patient data at risk if we don't do our due diligence ahead of time.
Right.
And so I can see where some of us in the practice, we might just get a little desperate, and so we go searching for an AI solution without really looking at all of the factors involved with it.
Yeah, absolutely. And so, one thing that, over at Sunset that, we're wanting to do is we're wanting to have these conversations with these AI companies. We want to go through and, have them complete a security questionnaire and just say, hey, how, are you guys good? Or, are you just creating this in your basement? And, or do you have financial backing? How long you been in the industry? What's your vision? What's the plan on this? Because when we recommend and we refer, we want to make sure that it's legit and it is going to bring a solution rather than any problematic issues, downstream. And there's a lot of legitimate companies out there, so don't get me wrong. There's some, on that, but just with the rise of AI, when there's an increase in good, there's going to be increase in bad.
For sure.
And so we just continually need to monitor, do assessments, continue to monitor those networks, and just make sure that they're in a good place.
So when you are vetting a company, like an AI company, other than just making sure they're not working out of their basement, like you said, what kinds of things are you looking for when it comes to infrastructure and security frameworks or firewall? I mean, what kinds of things, like where they store their data? I mean, like what are those kinds of things that you're looking for when you vet an AI company?
Yeah, so there's going to be certain parameters and things that they need to adhere to. Do you have what type of security certificates do you have in place, or are you in the process of securing those? And what kind of due diligence are you doing in assessments? Do you have insurance? Do you have things that have that? So when we go through the security process and the vetting, we have a security team that has these questionnaires, and they have those certain parameters that they need to meet. So SOC 2,
Okay.
and some other
Like
ones.
terminology that we probably won't really understand.
There's a lot of terminology out there little.
No, I get that.
Yep.
So let's talk about, so AI, I guess bottom line for our listeners is, before you bring on an AI company or a bot, make sure that your IT company or you have vetted the company significantly before you bring them into your own practice.
Yeah. And if you use Sunset, make sure you reach out to us. If you use another managed service provider, another IT provider, get them involved in those conversations. Because the last thing we want is to have a call saying, hey, I just signed up and we're getting this tool. And it's going to be in our network, and we're like,
wait a second.
Like what's going on? But we know that happens all the time. But we want to help with the roadmap. We want to help with the vision. And if there's anything that we can help streamline with and give them a peace of mind, absolutely, we're here for it.
Yeah, 100%. Did you know that you could increase your team's productivity by up to 200% if you had a formal team training program in place? And businesses that do have a formal team training program in place also enjoy up to a 24% increase in profit margin. If you want to learn how and book a call with me, click on the show notes and book a free discovery call with me, and we will talk all about it. So as you know, I work with dental practices mostly with software, and I'm always encouraging practices to stay up to date with the software, and because it helps with security and it helps make sure that the office is running the best. But a lot of times I hear from my practices, well, our IT company says that we should wait, like we shouldn't be doing that update. And I just wanted to know, like what's your philosophy on that? Do you feel like offices should stay up to date on updates when it comes to their practice management software? Should they wait a few months and kind of let it simmer down a little bit? What are your thoughts on that?
Yeah, I think there's a lot of, it's an interesting puzzle. I will just say it that way, because there's a lot of moving pieces with the different technologies and digital devices that are in a dental practice. It can become complex when you upgrade to the newest, DPMS, version that you have in your practice, which may affect the digital devices that you use, the pano or the sensors or the cameras. So there could be a lot of connective issues.
For sure.
But our driver, for us is the integration piece. Is we want to make sure that everything is integrated. So when the announcements come from Dentrix or EagleSoft or Open Dental or those other ones that are coming, even some of the cloud-based. We don't get notified on some of those because that just happens in the cloud, which is amazing and totally awesome. Love it. But with the server base, we do get notified, and so we began to work with our clients, and we understand. We have a catalog. Same with hopefully the majority of the MSPs out there have a list of what's connected, what's in the practice, and then what's really going to collide with that update. Because the last thing we want to do, yes, we want them to be compliant, absolutely.
For sure.
But we don't want them to be dead in the water because they have old sensors and they need to upgrade those in order to stay with that. So to answer your questions, long story short, yes, we want compliance. We want the newest and the greatest, because that is always going to be stable and as secure than older versions. So if you're listening to this and you're running EagleSoft 18 or 16 or Dentrix 5.1 or whatever, good God, upgrade.
I know. I have an office who will remain anonymous, who is still on G7. And, I've been encouraging her to upgrade the software, and boy, there's just a lot, like you said, a lot of moving parts. And I'm like, okay, so you do need to be working with your IT company, because what sensors, like you said, what digital imaging software are you using? What digital hardware are you using? Because we have to make sure that all of those things are going to still work
Yeah.
when you upgrade. And she
Yeah.
goes, oh, I never thought of that. And I'm like, yes, that's really
Yeah.
important. Even Microsoft operating system. So I told her, I said, you're still on G7. Your operating system may stop working with Dentrix G7 if we wait too much longer, you know. So third-party vendors, you know,
Absolutely.
communication, all of that. So
Yeah.
there's a lot, like you said, there's a lot of moving parts with upgrading,
Yeah.
and you do need to take your time, but just don't wait too long.
Yeah, absolutely. Because the longer you wait, the more at risk
Yeah.
you can become. And with the end of life of Windows 10 this year,
Right.
please begin to build that roadmap
Yeah.
and look at upgrading your infrastructure and your hardware. And when you upgrade your hardware, make sure it's compliant with that, you know, dental practice management software and your sensors too, right? And
Yeah,
those
for
third
sure.
parties. So it begins to do an investigation, and that's something that, you know, we at Sunset, and I'm sure, you know, with other MSPs too, that, you know, we are skilled and understand what is needed to keep things running with those upgrades. But that would be a time when you're upgrading your hardware. Take a look at your, you know, firewall. Take a look at your switches and your security cameras, and really do a deep dive and see, you know, do I have 11-year-old security system?
Yeah.
That might be something that you might want to upgrade. You know, do you know what other connected devices do you have in the software or in the office? Do you have a coffee machine that's Wi-Fi enabled?
Right.
Do you have that protected?
That's true.
I
That
mean,
is
come
true.
on now. That can be a vulnerability that can cost you. So
Yeah.
there's just a lot of things to be thinking about. And last thing, we don't want you to be thinking about that.
Yeah.
That's why you want to work with
Yeah.
professionals who understand the complexities. And then when you start introducing AI on top of that,
I know.
right? It's going to be fantastic and exciting. However, there's just some things that, you know, we just need to be mindful of and approach it pragmatically and just, you know, really with your vision. And I think I want to, you know, circle back on that is, what is your vision? What
Yeah.
is it that you're needing to solve? And does an AI bot or an AI solution provide that? And if so, do your homework and make sure that it's a legitimate company.
Agree with you. I know. That was one thing I was talking to another guest that I had on a couple weeks ago,
Yeah.
and we were talking a lot about, you know, phone systems.
Yeah,
Because
yeah,
there's a lot of phone systems coming out that will be able to answer the practice's phones after hours, you know, and it sounds like a human. And
yes, yeah,
and it's not. It's a robot. It's an AI bot. And, you know, so how much of that information or that protected patient information is being stored somewhere, you know?
Right.
And we have to be careful about that. I'm all for automation.
Absolutely.
I love automation. I love integration. I'm all for that, but it is important that we do protect our patient information. I mean,
hands down.
we've seen
Yeah.
some major breaches in the last couple of years.
Yeah, and with AI and I believe AGI's here, you know,
Yeah.
and ASI's, you know, I'm 6 months, maybe 8 months
What's
around the corner.
what's ASI?
So ASI is that artificial super intelligence.
Oh my gosh.
So I mean, it's just going to advance and accelerate like nothing else.
Okay.
But again, it's and that's just, I mean, it's just going to be mind blowing. I mean, that's and again, student here talking.
Me
but,
too. I learned. That's
yeah.
all. I'm a lifelong student. I mean,
Absolutely, man. That's how we do it,
I'm
right?
I'm constantly learning, and if I don't know the answer, I'll find it out for you. I'll find out the answer for you.
Come on. I mean, there's some AI products now that you call, you know, new patients. They call, you don't pick up because, I mean, you're you know, office managers, you're running 16 miles, you know, a minute, and so if that call is missed, instantly text goes out, right, reaches that patient.
Yep.
And so there's interaction there, but, you know, what type of information is retained and what type of information is collected, and then, you know, how does that transport in go into the system? Does it go into the practice management system?
Right.
So are there some avenues and conduits there, or is it sent to maybe like a resource page or a landing page where you can sign in and be able to see, and then you can moderate that and work? I know there's some other tech that,
For sure.
they can schedule right in
Yep.
with Open Dental, which is just mind-blowing.
Oh,
and other systems too. Yeah.
Absolutely, absolutely. I know if you can write into the system, it can write out of the system, so there's always this back and forth syncing of data, and where is it syncing that data to is important.
Yeah. So there's always and I think, doctors, it's okay to be curious.
For sure.
Right? Because curiosity, they say curiosity kills a cat. However, curiosity should bring up more questions.
For sure.
And if the company is not willing to be transparent and answer your questions, then I think you may need to pivot and find a different company out there.
I think that's a very important point right there. And I'm just going to repeat that if the company that you're wanting to hire is withholding or like pushing back on your questions, then that's a red flag.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Because what are you hiding? And you're like, I'll just take your word for it. Well, okay. Like, who else are you working with? What case studies do you have?
Yeah.
Do you have some white papers? What type of data do you have? And then get your IT company involved in the conversation as too. I mean, that is so imperative and so important.
Yeah.
If you work with
because they work for you.
Yeah. If you work with any security professionals or consultants, get them involved. Ask them.
Yes.
I mean, they have the ear to the ground, and they know and they hear things that are out there, and there are some phenomenal people out there in the industry that will be able to help out.
Yeah, we are here. We're on your side.
Yeah.
Like we are here on. If you get into a Facebook chat room, or even like I love Dental Town, but even if you get into Dental Town or a chat room or something, I mean, the people that are giving you feedback don't work for you. They don't work. They're not working on your behalf.
Right.
They're not looking out for your practice. The people that you have on your side, your IT team, your consultant, your financial advisor, your CPA, all of those people are working for you and looking out for your behalf.
Yeah, absolutely.
So trust their word and their recommendations.
Absolutely. Hands down, 100% agree on that one, Dayna. Come on now.
Yeah, no kidding. All right, Dan. Well, this has been so good.
Absolutely. I can't wait to have more conversations about this, to see the advancement of AI and how it's going to revolutionize this industry, and I'm super excited for it.
I know.
Yeah.
I could probably have you on another, like in 6 months from now, and it'll all be different.
Oh my gosh. Yes, absolutely. You know what? I might even join you with my AI bot.
Oh, there you go.
All right. No,
I'll just see this hologram of Daniel Easty.
That's right, man. Look out, Jetsons are here.
See, I'm just going to do my podcast from my home office, and then Daniel is going to have his hologram AI bot join me in my podcast room.
That's right. That's right. Come on now, living large. Thank you, Dayna, so much for having me.
No, thank you so much. It was an honor to have you on my show, and because these were really great tips. So tell our listeners where they can get more information from you.
Yeah, so we have a great article out talking about AGI, so generative AI, on our website at sunsetsecure.com.
Well, we'll put the link to that article in our show notes.
Yeah, perfect.
Yeah.
And then, if you want to check us out or connect with me, I'm on LinkedIn. So feel free to reach out to me, and would love to have a conversation.
Well, we'll have all your contact information in our show notes.
Awesome.
I appreciate it. Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
All right, my friends, if you found this episode helpful for you, you want to share it with your colleagues, share it with your study club buddies, your study club friends, I would appreciate it. Please give us a 5-star review. We love 5-star reviews just like you do. And share it, rate it, review it. We appreciate it. And I look forward to watching your journey of becoming a high-performing dental team.